This story out of Canada, it's pretty impressive show of union strength and determination. The about 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants were on strike. They are public employees. Should be clear. Air Canada is a national airline, and on Saturday, the Canadian Union of Public Employees president, Mark Hancock, was responding to a work order from the Canadian Industrial Relations Board. I guess more or less the functional equivalent of our National Labor Relations Board. Their labor law is obviously different than ours. However, this board had basically said, the strike is illegal. You got to get back to work. And here is the union president of COOP. I don't know how you pronounce it, but the Canadian Union of Public Employees in Toronto at the Pearson Airport. This was Saturday.
This is the CIRB order. Here's what I'm supposed to do. I'm expected to say, stand down. I'm expected to direct you to go back to work. I'm expected to end this strike. When this strike would end. I said it clearly then, and I will say it clearly now. This strike will end when we get a collective agreement that works for our members.
And of course, if an employer knows that the government's going to step in and end a strike when it starts to becoming painful for the employer, it really diminishes the power of a union, unless, of course, that union says, we're going to defy this order. And yesterday, Monday, during the day, Hancock was, I don't know if he was in the CUPE national offices, but here he is yesterday talking about that order that was still in effect as of yesterday afternoon.
There's no limit. We're going to stay strong. We're going to stay committed to making sure that those workers can do the job that they love doing and actually be able to afford a roof over their heads, to afford caring for their families. And if it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it. If it means our union being fined, then so be it. We're looking for a solution here. Our members want a solution here, but that solution has to be found at a bargaining table.
And awesome. Then late last night, well, I don't know how late it was, the Air Canada brought him back in. They had meetings, and as of last night, they struck a deal with the union. It remains to be seen if the union's going to, if the membership is going to ratify it. I don't know the details of the deal, but it is a good, it's the more that we see unions, labor fighting, and if not winning, I can't assess this deal. Obviously, I don't even know if the details have been released in any way. But this type of fight inspires other people to fight. And you'll recall, Sean Fain had about a year or two ago made a call for a general strike on May Day of 2028. and was calling on all sorts of unions to sign contracts and have them end right around that time.
I was reading that a lot of what this dispute centers around is that that Air Canada pays flight attendants when the planes are, either taking a trip or in motion, and they're trying to get pay as more traditional employees, which seems to make total sense. And wasn't it true that last year Trudeau intervened in the dock and rail strikes that labor was really unhappy with at the time? So I wonder if, and I just don't have the expertise to know this, but if the CUPE national president here kind of learned from that, what happened last year under a different labor leader.
I'm being corrected. I guess Air Canada went private in '89, but still had public sector union as its employees. And I'm also being told it's pronounced Kupai, like the mayo, but I don't know what mayo.
That might be a joke.
QP?
I don't get it.
I wouldn't take that as face value.
Oh, it's QP.
QP.
Maybe. Okay.
So there it is. People in Canada writing into us on the IM saying that all the Canadian news coverage of the strike was so incredibly anti-strike.
Sure. I don't doubt it.
The Canada's press.
It's always often, even here in the U.S., it's the same thing. It's geared towards economic disruption and disruption to consumerism. And that...
Same way the rail strike was.
Yeah. And that's what neoliberalism is, where, we don't... And in the United States, we don't have robust social services. We have a very threadbare safety net that the Republicans just took a hammer to. So what keeps our society kind of together over the past few decades has been basically kind of cheaper goods. And so that's how our press orients their coverage of the health of our economy. I wish that they would do so in North America around the health of people's lives and workers' lives and their incomes. So that seems to be a problem in Canada and in the U.S.
QP, IM's public sector union steward here, sharing the Air Canada story with members as proof you can violate the government order not to strike, achieve your goals, and win. This is the point of acts like this. And it's analogous to the stuff that we've been talking about in terms of how you fight authoritarianism. One act, regardless of its material consequences in that moment, can spur other acts that end up providing more actual, genuine material consequences. They're not mutually exclusive, but just understand that any point, particularly in the context of what we're about to talk to Lisa Gilbert about when we have ICE and other feds prowling the streets of D.C. in military vehicles. These acts of defiance empower other people. And what may seem meaningless very well may be just, use the analogy you want, and one link in the chain or one little butterfly wing that may ultimately make real change. The butterfly
A butterfly effect.
effect, right?
You're a big Ashton Kutcher fan. You're always talking about it.
I have no idea about Ashton Kutcher's involvement in that whatsoever. He did Dude, Where's My Car, right?
Yeah, I was shocked you didn't even know the name.
That I knew. Because I had a buddy who was actually offered that role.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he said, he got up and he said, F that, and walked out. Ross Rockley. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.